So before I invite Bob up here, I'd just like to say a few words about Bob. He's the second time that he has been the president of Prairie Needs Network. He was president back in 2015, and he was very instrumental in moving this organization from the old library in Verona to this location. And then he returned in 2022 and again opened this lovely community center named after Bob and Marcia Cachetta with good reason. And here we are now under his watch. We're opening the last build today. Through all that, Bob is a champion of those who need help. It's not just about providing food for Bob, it's also about how to rise people out of poverty. He's also a big believer in keeping this organization 100% volunteer and maintaining that spirit. I know as a volunteer myself, everything we do, every small job, every small task, he shows you your appreciation. And I think that's a big part of why this organization is still 100% volunteer. So with that, Bob, why don't you come up?
Today is about all of you. Thank you so much for being here. None of us are here if it isn't, at Badger Prairie Needs Network, if it isn't for your contributions. And we're always aware of that. Let me start by recognizing some special guests who have joined us today. We are extremely grateful to have with us Governor Evers, Congressman Mark Pocan, and Dane County Executive Melissa Agard. We lovingly refer to her as our landlord because you are in a county building. What I want to do is take just a few minutes of your time. They said there'll be a hook if I don't stop in 5 minutes, and I tend to believe everything people tell me. So I'm going to be brief. But if we could, we would start by listing 1,000 people, 2,000, 5,000 people, all of whom are integral in the success of this organization. And it is the most wonderful organization. I encourage you to come back, each and every one of you. Many of you are volunteers, and so it's delightful. You're here all the time, and that's so great. But if you don't come here often, please come back, and come back to see the joy that there is in this place as people are serving their neighbors. Come back and see the sacrifice that people make without any expectation of any kind of remuneration, recognition, and all too little thanks. So it's appropriate that we say thank you today. Let me go through some of the milestones that we are crossing today. We are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Badger Prairie Needs Network. We're going to talk about Ms. Debbie Bass shortly, who is celebrating her 90th birthday as well, but before we get to that important event, I really want to share with all of you a lot of what has happened here in a few short moments. As Lisa mentioned, in 2015, we came to this building. Then County Executive Joe Parisi and I met a few steps away from here, and he graciously said, we'll help you to take ownership by lease of the building. And we did, and we've been paying $25 a year to our landlord ever since. And we've been making good use of this resource. Every time somebody opens a new building or a new section of a building, there is recognition of what has come before. I don't think we would be here if there wasn't a substantial need in this society. I don't think any of us would be here if in Dane County, as many other communities, there wasn't a great need to address poverty. And so it's with mixed feelings that we come together. I'm delighted to be working with the people we work with at Badger Prairie. I'm so pleased to be able to give back to this community that's been so great to my family. And I am so saddened by the fact that we need the services that we provide. But we do, and so we celebrate the fact that we provide those services with kindness and caring and dignity, that we produce for people results that make their lives better. Every one of them. And not just our guests. Oh, the guests are vital, but our volunteers as well. We often joke at our house about how Badger Prairie Needs Network has multiple meanings. The needs in Badger Prairie Needs Network also addresses the needs that each one of us have to give something back. whether you make a donation, whether you're here volunteering, whether you're taking a leadership role, each and every one of us has a need to give something back to our community. And I am so pleased to be part of an organization that feeds that need, because it is vital, particularly in a world that becomes more and more cynical. There's a place here for you. There's a place here for everybody, without judgment, that provides service to the people who so desperately need service in our world. Now, a few statistics. In 2015, this place was geared at approximately, just under 1,000 square feet at that time to provide services for 500,000 pounds of food. It's quite a lot. However, we now serve more than 2 million pounds of food through the facility. So you could see that we needed to do something more. And what we were able to do is to build a warehouse that doubles our existing warehouse space. It permits us to provide more service to more people, other food pantries in the area, and to become a regional center that addresses the problems that we all want to address. In addition to that, Lisa mentioned we're all volunteers. I don't think there's too much better about Badger Prairie Needs Network than the fact we're all volunteers. It's hard to see that in our world today. And it's not just a few people. Yeah, we've got a leadership team of 20 people, and that's amazing. But what is even more amazing is that there are 1,100 solid volunteers who show up, who do the work, and who get the job done on the highest level you can imagine. And so this is a really special place in that regard. And to recognize that, we needed to expand our office space as well. So we built, well, you'll see on the second floor, if you're lucky to take a tour of the building afterward, and I hope every one of you will. On the second floor, we have office space that recognizes the fact that you can't ask people to do excellent work and then put them into a small room, 20, 30 of them all in there working at the same time. You ask people to do excellent work, you better provide them with excellent space. And yet, if anyone thinks, oh my goodness, my contributions to Badger Prairie Needs Network are going to provide excellent furnishings, they are not. Look around when you get to the second floor and look at the posters. Most of what's up there is donated. We are very careful stewards of what people provide. We didn't build a Taj Mahal, people donated all of the fine things that you see on the second floor. And we are so fortunate that this is the kind of community in which we live. They see the need and they respond to it. And they have consistently responded to it. And now to the future. We'd better do something good with that space. You don't build that kind of space and then sit on your laurels and say, we're good enough. Good enough is never good enough. And so one of the things we have to do is acknowledge that the problems expand. Last week, the Congressional Budget Office indicated that 2.4 million people nationwide are going to lose their SNAP food stamp assistance because of recently passed legislation. I don't know yet how many of those people live in Dane County, but we're going to meet them. And we need a facility that is ready to serve those people. When we started the pandemic time in 2020, we served approximately 20,000 people. In 2025, we're on a pace approaching 100,000 people. And I want to say this because I know the conventional notion, the conventional wisdom about those who are poor in our society. These people work. Many of them have 2 jobs. These are worthwhile people, and it's an honor to help them. Now, in addition to the food pantry services, we provide offices for Joining Forces for Families, which is the county agency that does so much good. We also are providing free legal services to people. We have a commercial kitchen that helps to generate revenue and also has the capacity to repackage meals, which come generally largely from Epic. In short, we're making good use of the facility. Now, I fear that the hook is going to come out, but let me leave you with one thought. A lot of people look at the world today and they think, oh, this can't be done, that can't be done. And it just isn't true. Nelson Mandela famously said, everything is impossible, right up until the moment it is done. Well, look around you. You're seeing the impossible. How many people thought this couldn't be done? It is being done. But the challenge that lays before us is, what more can we do? What's next? Because we have an obligation to do more, to do better, to do good. And so thank you for being part of that mission. I look forward to what's next. Now, I'd like to introduce, please, our County Executive, Melissa Agard. I will share this with you. When Joe Parisi decided to retire, I was exceedingly concerned because Joe's been a dear friend. Joe had demonstrated great support for Badger Prairie Needs Network for a long time, and I thought, well, we are now in trouble. Rest assured, we are not in trouble. We have in Melissa Agard an ally, and she has demonstrated every step of the way that she's just as committed to our mission as we are. So I am delighted to introduce to you and to ask her to speak, Melissa Agard.
So being able to start my day, it's a beautiful day outside, with this beautiful moment in our community's history, and as we continue to move forward, is something that I wish I could do more of every single day. So thank you to the folks at Badger Prairie Needs Network and to the Cachettas for allowing us the opportunity to celebrate at a time when I think we need to lean in more and find reasons to celebrate. The world is pretty heavy right now, but this is why we do the work, and it is how we do the work, by sharing space with one another. Having enough food to eat is one of the most basic human needs. It is as essential as clean air and clean water, and it should be a given for everyone in our community. As a little girl growing up right here in Dane County, I benefited from food shares back when they looked like food stamps, Monopoly money stapled together, and at school standing in a different line to receive my lunch than other people in my class. And we have grown as a society to realize that removing that stigma and providing access to basic dignity and human rights is a way to ensure that we all know that our dreams matter, and that little kids can grow up and know that they can run to become the county executive in our community. And I know that the people that this facility serves have dreams that are being able to be achieved because of the dreams of those over 1,000 people that show up to volunteer within this facility, and the people who planted these seeds so long ago to allow the Badger Needs Network to be here. Here in Dane County, despite all the prosperity and opportunity that surrounds us, we know that not every household and not every person has access to healthy food. Right now, a little over 9% of the human beings in Dane County and over 12% of the children in our county are food insecure. Over 12% of the children in Dane County are food insecure. That is a reality. That means thousands of our neighbors, children who our children play with, and people who we go to work with, don't know where their next meal is going to come from. We know that there are several forces that are making this challenge even harder in our community. The rising cost of living is squeezing household budgets. Our county is growing quickly. That is exciting, but it is bringing more families who need help and added more strain on our already stretched emergency food system into Dane County. We also know that food insecurity is not felt equally across our community. It disproportionately affects people of color and those with lower incomes, individuals who don't have access to health care, and our children. This isn't just about hunger. It's about equity, it's about justice, and to me, it's about dignity. My vision, what I call the Dane County way, is that we will be a community where food is secure for everyone that calls Dane County home. One where it is equitable and sustainable, and there is a safety net that is available to anyone who needs it when they need it. They don't have to wait in a line. In the past, Dane County has supported local food pantries through emergency food supply grants. And we helped the Badger Prairie Needs Network purchase refrigerated trucks so that we could rescue food in our communities from area retailers and partnerships like Epic, so that we can safely deliver meals to our kids and our families and our neighbors. And these are important steps, but they are not enough. At the end of the day, we have to do more than to fill empty stomachs. We have to break the cycle of poverty, as Bob mentioned. And that takes commitment and ingenuity and partnership and curiosity so that we can find the long-term sustainable solutions that our community is asking from us. The folks at Badger Prairie Needs Network are shining in this work. The fact that this is an all-volunteer network is amazing and deserves to be applauded. You are the heart and the soul of this mission and being able to deliver this to our community. You are living examples of what it is that I call the Dane County way. And it means that you saw a need in our community, and maybe you saw a need in your own heart, and you are responding to that need with creativity and compassion and action. It means that you're standing up and you are serving some of the most vulnerable people in our community with dignity and respect and kindness, something that we need more of in this world right now. It means refusing to accept that hunger is unavoidable. And this new building is so much more than about food. It's providing private spaces for our social workers to be able to meet with clients. It's providing the opportunity for the people who are working here to have space to do the work that needs to be done. Opening doors to health screenings and educational programs and vaccination clinics. Offering those life-saving wraparound services that help our families of Dane County, not just to get by, but to be able to get ahead. And that's what a thriving community looks like. That's what our future looks like. Neighbors helping neighbors. Government and nonprofit working hand in hand. People in our community standing up and saying, I have a little bit more than I can give. We all share a belief that no one should go hungry. And it's not just about the bricks and mortar. It's about investing in a stronger and more equitable Dane County, not just for today, but for generations to come. To all of you in this room, including my amazing county staff, thank you for your time and your energy and your heart and showing up every single day for our community to make it be stronger. I thank each and every one of you. You are making Dane County a better place, a better world, and that is for everyone who calls it home. I want to congratulate all of the people that are here today and the folks that are here representing folks that couldn't be here today on this incredible new space, the vision, and planting the seeds to what is possible for tomorrow. And I really appreciate being invited to be part of this celebration. Onward and upward. Thank you.
Before I introduce the next speaker, just calling out a few people and organizations that deserve special thanks. Ideal Builders is truly properly named. They do an ideal job. It's amazing. Without their help, it would not have been possible for us to be here. And they took what looked to me like meaningless scratches on a blank page that turned into the wonderful space you'll be seeing. It's phenomenal. And we worked with them before, and we are so grateful for their work with us to bring this about. ADCI architects especially as well. Great people to work with, taking ideas, making them better, and thinking creatively about what we might do. I would also be remiss if I didn't recognize the people who served as the leaders of this project. All volunteers now. We have Tracy Burton, who is our food pantry director. Tracy, are you here? These people do not get enough credit. Tracy lovingly has what she calls a command center in the warehouse, which is an interesting name for it, but I think it's perfectly named. Karen Dettinger was our project manager. Karen, phenomenal. I have to tell you this story because Tracy and Karen were part of this. Somewhere near 3/4 of the way through completion, we took a walk through. And I have no capacity to imagine what something like that looks like. I can imagine the goals we set, and I can help with a lot of things, but not the construction. And we walked into the construction area, and we were with people from Ideal, and I remember Tracy and Karen saying, I thought that outlet on that wall was supposed to be a little higher. And sure enough, they checked the plans, and it was. And we went into another room, and they said, wasn't that doorknob supposed to be opening out? Wasn't that door supposed to be opening out? Sure enough, we checked the plans, and it was. That's the granular detail that these volunteers brought to that project. It was astounding. It was just astounding. I would also be remiss if I didn't recognize, and this sounds a little self-serving, but it's not, Marcia Cachetta. When people say she's your better half, they've got the arithmetic wrong. Try 90%. She was the executive director here. She's kept the dream alive. It's amazing. Dean Baumgartner was on our team as well, and Dean would show up and help with finances. Wonderful. And Amanda DePadgett from the county was instrumental in making sure that what we did here would be consistent with other county properties. Things that are really important, that there be some uniformity. She took care of that. I could go on and on. I mean, there is a list so long, but I do want to introduce to you our congressional representative. To say that Mark is a friend is an honor for me. Mark is one of those public servants who makes me happy that we have people like that in government. I've known Mark for way over 30 years, and I have never once found him to be cynical or selfish. He's in government for the right reason, and we are so lucky in the 2nd Congressional District to have Mark Pocan as our representative. And so I'm delighted to introduce him. Thanks for all you do.
It's great to be with you all, and I have to admit, it's just great to be home. I'm not in DC, right? That is a big win. I spent my night last night with Melissa. I spent the morning with the governor. So we're definitely getting around seeing great things that are happening at the local and state level. And unfortunately, I don't get to see all that at the federal level these days. So it's really heartening to be here. If anyone has ever been a volunteer here at Badger Prairie, raise your hand, please. Let's give them a nice round of applause, please, for that work. I had the good fortune one day of being a volunteer, but it was great to see who was coming in, what their needs were, and all the great work that's happening here. And I've been here a number of times for expansions, Bob. I think this might be my 3rd visit for when you've been doing more work. In addition to thanking the volunteers, I want to do a special thank you to Bob and Marcia Cachetta. It has really been their, in many ways, vision of helping to continue to see what can happen here, and their hard work and dedication. And let's just give a real wonderful thank you to Bob and Marcia. I remember we were getting together for dinner, and we were talking about what's going to be next, what are you guys doing? And we came up with this, you came up with this idea, and we said, well, maybe we can help. We had recently brought back congressional earmarks. I think now we call it congressionally directed funding, because we know what's happening in our districts more than any bureaucrat and any agency in Washington. And we were so happy to find a way to try to help doing that, and then watching everyone get together to put this together. It's just been so wonderful. And there's other people from other food pantries that are here. Can you raise your hand, and can we give them a nice round of applause as well? In Dane County, there are so many amazing people working at these other food pantries, and the fact that they're working together collaboratively. I know there's a major project for Thanksgiving, I think, planned, where the food pantries have got together doing some work to bring in food. We are so fortunate that this is what's happening in Dane County. And as Bob said in the beginning, not to be a bit of a downer, but Congress recently passed some really bad legislation. They called it the Big Beautiful Bill. We call it the Big Ugly Law, because it's now law. but millions of people are going to lose access to food assistance, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is the #1 program that keeps kids out of poverty in this country. $6.20 a day in food assistance. Think about that. When's the last time you ate and took care of yourself for $6.20? I lived on SNAP for a week when I was a freshman in Congress. And, at that point, the weekly amount was $31.50. I bought a bag of oranges, I bought my ramen noodles, I bought my peanut butter, and I brought a bad attitude to work every day for a week because it's not a lot of assistance. And to have that many more people be in need is going to put pressure on Badger Prairie Needs Network, on every food pantry that's here and that's not here. And all of us need to keep that in mind. As much as elections have consequences and there can be bad decisions made at various levels of government, we need to be able to try to help those folks that are going to be in need very soon. And there's going to be, unfortunately, a lot of them, which is why going around doing what I'm doing today feels so good, getting around to the positive things that are happening. I'm very, very jealous of Melissa Agard and his job. She gets to go around and talk about the wonderful things they're doing in Dane County, and they do wonderful things in Dane County. And I get to go to work with Marjorie Taylor Greene. So, a little difference. But today is a celebration. Today is about the wonderful expansion out here, and today is about making sure that more people will live better lives because of what's happening at Badger Prairie Needs Network. And thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate it.
Our next guest recently announced he's leaving. But before he does, he's going to do a lot of good things. And he's already done a lot of good things. It pleases me more than I can tell you to call Tony Evers a friend for more than 30 years. I had the distinct honor of serving as mayor of Verona decades ago. And there was this guy who was running our school system who was the superintendent of schools. And I came in, didn't know much about city government, and learned a great deal about administration, about leadership from Tony Evers, who was the school superintendent and is a marvelous public servant. I know we're going to miss him, but I know we're also eager to hear from him today. And with our great thanks, let's welcome Tony Evers.
So, Bob, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Marcia. Where are you? God bless you, too. It's a pleasure to be back to celebrate the completion of this exciting project. First of all, obviously thanking Bob and Marcia, the board, leadership teams, and all the Badger Prairie Needs Network volunteers, and there are many, for your inspiring commitment to service and unwavering dedication to this community. Over the years, I've been seeing firsthand what makes this community so special. It's the compassion, the resilience, and the people. And no better is the commitment exemplified than the partners here at the Badger Prairie Needs Network. In recent years, especially, this organization has gone above and beyond for families it serves, helping ensure folks have a meal on the table no matter what their circumstances are. But as this organization has grown, so too has the need for their services, and in turn, it was time to see this much appreciated and anticipated expansion project takes shape. Thanks to all the partners, and Bob mentioned to most of them, I'm sure, who are represented here today. You got it done, folks. And I'm proud that the state could support this growth with a $1.6 million grant from our non-state grant program. We created this program as part of our budget in 2023, and to support local projects that improve public services and the quality of life for Wisconsinites. BPNN certainly fits that category. But capital projects are just one arm of the success. We also have a responsibility as a state to connect the dots that improve all aspects of families' lives. And as Bob and Marcia often remind us, tackling poverty is not just about food. It means addressing the root causes of issues that so often can hold back our kids and families and communities. Especially now, as mentioned before, as federal chaos has made the dependability of programs like those that address food security, healthcare, housing, and so much more feels like a question mark, and a really dark one at that. But that is why here in Wisconsin we've been hard at work to fight back against that chaos. And just this last month I signed a bipartisan budget. It's almost something you never heard of in our lifetime, that makes important investments. And they're just the beginning, but important investments to help fight back against that uncertainty. Our bipartisan budget supports access to local, nutritious food for Wisconsin's kids, families, and seniors, including $10 million for our successful food security initiative. Now, I get $10 million isn't enough for the state of Wisconsin, but it is the first time state money has been allocated for that purpose. And our budget ensures Wisconsinites have access to resources like quality, affordable health care, child care, and more, all of which are essential to helping working families get ahead. Folks, that's exactly what you're doing here at Badger Prairie Needs Network. You're not just fighting hunger and poverty, you're uplifting families and making communities better. So to everybody who had a hand in getting this done, thank you. Thank you.
A couple of people I really want to call out also and thank for taking the laboring oar of getting everything set up today. Missy Prout, our volunteer coordinator director, who does a wonderful job. Missy sends you those loving emails that says you have an opportunity to serve this week. Now, how's that? And Lisa Marshall, our communications director. Every once in a while, okay, quite often, somebody says to me, you can't sustain that platform with volunteers. And I say, well, we can't afford to pay for the kind of help we get. I mean, all the people you've heard about who took leadership positions, I couldn't even imagine trying to pay those people. They're worth their weight in gold and then some. And we'll continue to do that just as long as this community understands that we have to support the effort. And it does. Now, I'm very fond of sayings. I've got this notebook that I carry around sometimes, not today, that has all these sayings that catch my interest. And there was one years ago that sort of caught on here. And it's from Margaret Mead, who said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." And there's nothing truer than that. And so it is we turn to a celebration today. And the celebration is about Debbie Bass. That small group of thoughtful, committed citizens started with Debbie more than 40 years ago, when Debbie was with the Salem United Church of Christ, and she got the notion that we need to do more, that we need to serve our neighbors. And so she set up a food pantry, and somewhere around here, there's a photograph of the closet in which the food pantry began. We've come a long way. And Debbie decided after the closet was not sufficient anymore that park printing, the Bass family has developed such a wonderful community business there, that park printing and the loading dock would be a good place to help more, to do more. And she made that happen. And she sustained us through many years. And so it's a delight, as Debbie is in the month of her 90th birthday, to recognize that contribution as we stand on the shoulders of Debbie's great effort and do even more. So the governor has a presentation. Debbie, if you'd come up. You have a proclamation.
we should have more than just a plaque, but that's what we do here in Wisconsin. And that's exactly what you're doing too. So Debbie, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. You've done so much for the people of Wisconsin.
Ready?
Yep.